The mechanic froze when the little girl whispered, "Mister, can you fix people too?" Because no one knew her broken legs belonged to the most powerful woman in the city. The rain came down in sheets that evening, the kind that soaked through clothes and spirits alike. In a forgotten industrial stretch of the city, where flickering streetlights barely fought the darkness, Elias Carter worked alone in his small, rust-stained garage. His hands were black with grease, his shoulders hunched with exhaustion, and his stomach growled from a hunger he had learned to ignore. Poor didn't begin to describe his life, it only softened the truth. Elias was a mechanic because machines made sense to him. People didn't. Engines broke for a reason. You fixed what was damaged, tightened what was loose, replaced what was worn. But life just kept taking without explanation. He was closing up for the night when a sleek black car rolled into the lot and stalled with a final helpless cough. The kind of car Elias had only seen on billboards. Expensive, powerful, out of place. Before he could even wipe his hands, the back door opened slowly. A woman stepped out first, tall and composed despite the rain. But her eyes carried a kind of fear Elias recognized instantly, the fear of someone who had everything except the one thing that mattered. Then, carefully, she turned back into the car. That's when Elias saw the girl. She couldn't have been older than 9, pale, fragile. Sitting in a wheelchair far too big for her small body, her legs lay motionless beneath a blanket, thin and unmoving, as if they belonged to someone else. But her eyes, those eyes were alive. Curious, hopeful, afraid. "I'm so sorry," the woman said quickly, her voice tight. "Our driver couldn't make it. And this car, can you fix it?" "I'll pay anything." Elias shook his head. "Payment later." "Let me look." He worked fast, rain dripping down his neck, tools clanking against metal. The problem was simple fuel line damage. But what caught his attention wasn't the car. It was the little girl watching him through the rain-splattered window, like he was performing magic. When he finished, he knocked gently on the glass. The woman opened the door again, relief washing over her face. "Thank you," she said. "You have no idea what this means." Before Elias could respond, the girl leaned forward in her chair. Her voice was soft. "Careful. Mister, can you fix people too?" The question hit him harder than any blow he'd taken in life. He crouched down until he was level with her. "I'm just a mechanic," he said gently. "But sometimes fixing things starts with believing they can be fixed." The woman's breath caught. The girl smiled, a small, brave smile that didn't match the pain in her eyes. "I want to run one day." Something in Elias broke open then. He didn't know who they were. He didn't ask, but he knew this. This child wasn't meant to sit still forever. As they prepared to leave, Elias quietly removed the bill from the woman's hand and folded it back into her palm. "Use it for her," he said. "She needs it more than I do." The woman stared at him, stunned. "You don't even know who I am." Elias shrugged. "Doesn't matter." As the car pulled away, the rain finally stopped, but Elias had no idea that the girl in that wheelchair was the disabled daughter of one of the richest billionaires in the country. Or that this moment would soon change all their lives forever. When the billionaire mother walked back into the garage weeks later, she wasn't there to pay him. She was there because her daughter had taken her first step. Life went on as usual for Elias. Long days, short nights. Unpaid bills stacked like silent accusations on his workbench. The memory of the little girl lingered, though. He thought of her often, wondered if she was okay, wondered if hope had stayed with her after the rain stopped. 3 weeks later, a familiar black car returned, but this time it didn't stall, it parked. Elias stepped out, cautiously, wiping his hands. The same woman emerged, but she wasn't composed anymore. Her shoulders shook, tears streamed freely down her face as she walked toward him, barely able to speak. "My daughter?" she whispered. She stood up. Elias blinked. "What?" She stood up. The woman repeated. "Breaking completely now. Doctors told us she would never walk. Years of specialists. Millions spent. Nothing worked." She grabbed his hands tightly. "But after that night, she wouldn't stop talking about you, about how you believed she could be fixed." Elias felt his throat tighten. "She asked to try physical therapy again," the woman continued. "She pushed through pain I've never seen a child endure. Yesterday she took her first step." Before Elias could respond, a car door opened. The girl stepped out. Not running, not perfect, but standing on her own legs, shaking, determination burning in her eyes. "I did it," she said proudly, "just like you said." Elias dropped to his knees, overcome. The woman finally spoke the truth then, her name, her empire, her wealth. None of it mattered to Elias. But what she did next did. She offered him everything: money, a new garage, a future without struggle. Elias smiled softly and shook his head. I don't need a miracle, he said. I just didn't want her to lose hope. The woman collapsed into sobs, hugging her daughter tightly. You gave us something money never could. Months later, Elias's garage became something more, a community repair center, funded quietly, where struggling families found help without shame. Elias still worked with grease-stained hands, still lived simply. But now, when a little girl ran past his shop laughing on strong, determined legs, he knew the truth. Miracles don't always come from power or wealth. Sometimes they come from a poor mechanic who chooses kindness and a child who refuses to stop believing. And, inspiring message, hope doesn't ask how much you have. It only asks how much you're willing to give.